right, welcome to today's training. This is the Salt Lake City School District's way of doing team cleaning. It's a very basic overview, and this one is designed for the high schools, which I think is a whole lot easier to do. But anyway, we also have one for junior highs and high schools that you can check out. So let's get started on this one. So the zone method is the old way that we've done it pretty much forever. Everybody is a generalist, and a generalist means that, well, they kind of are a jack of all trades. For example, let's take, say, Highland High School, where you've got the three different stories. Um, you have three full-time employees. I mean, at least you used to doing it this way, okay? Three full-time employees. One cleans the classrooms, restrooms, sweeps some staircases, and takes care of the hallway on the top floor. Another one does the classrooms, restrooms, sweeps some staircases, and takes care of the hallways on the middle floor. And the third one cleans the offices, library, faculty rooms, student restrooms, hallways, and classrooms on the bottom floor. And for this you need three trash barrels, three vacuums, three dust mops, a couple of brooms. Why do I have two brooms on there? Oh, to sweep the stairs. Okay, got it. Mop and buckets and buffers. You need three of each. Also, each person is responsible for their own area. That means you've got that whole floor to take care of. You work alone, mostly unsupervised, which, we're trustworthy people, but it's easier to just kind of poke along some nights than others, and I know this because, well, I used to have this kind of a job. So, yeah, you're open to the individual's own interpretation as to the quality of work, and that's the key. Whoever the custodian is that's doing this whole area, their interpretation of clean is may not be what the district standard is, or may not be what the night custodians is, or the head custodian, or even the teachers. So this is kind of a key point to team cleaning and the importance of why we would do it. Well, with the team difference, we have done away with most generalized cleaning. Cleaning is now done by processes. Now this is important to remember, processes. That's pretty much what we do in the summer. Now we have specialists. Okay. This eliminates the need for all this extra equipment. So that same school with 4 time specialists and 1 full-time supervisor using team cleaning. A light duty specialist is responsible for sweeping all the rooms. Not sweeping, sorry. Dumping trash in all the rooms. Dusting on a rotating basis, emptying the pencil sharpeners, cleaning chalk trays in the entire building. So the light duty specialist starts out with the trash barrel and a duster, and off they go. The floor specialist is next. They come along and they're responsible for sweeping all the rooms, all the classrooms. A vacuum specialist who is, well, they're supposed to take care of all the carpeted areas. So entryways and carpeted classrooms, and generally all carpeted areas. A utility specialist who spot mops classrooms, changes burned out lights, cleans sinks, and removes graffiti. A stairway specialist who just worries about taking care of stairs. And a hallway specialist who just worries about taking care of the hallways. The restroom specialist who just worries about taking care of the restrooms only. So for this, you'd need 1 trash barrel, a dust mop, 1 vacuum, 2 mops and buckets, and a buffer. You can see that we can save the amount of equipment we're using, which means we aren't as hard on our equipment. So that's one real big thing with team cleaning. So also, each person shares the responsibility for the entire building, giving a larger sense of ownership. Everyone works together in a collaboration. They draw on each other's strengths. And supervision is constant. So the person who is supervising can look at how things are going and see who's maybe struggling, who's not quite as good at one process as the other, and can make adjustments so that things run real efficient. So there's some savings involved here. The purchase and maintenance of all this extra equipment that we wouldn't need. Okay, so there's some actual money that we could save just on equipment. 2 buffers, a mop bucket, 2 dust mops, 2 vacuums, 2 trash pros. I know that doesn't seem like a lot. And the cost of a full-time people with benefits plus 4 part-time people per night. And it's not that we're looking to cut back. The problem is we've already cut to a certain point. We need to figure out how to get the buildings done with what personnel we have. We have to become more efficient. Well, the results of team cleaning, well, they kind of speak for themselves. And I remember this is Highland High School, and when we were doing our team cleaning there, when we set this up, the results were stunning. Highland looked absolutely beautiful. Still does, but looked even better when I was doing it. Just got to say. Now for a breakdown of specific team duties. So you have the team leader, who's also known as the evening supervisor or the night man. And their responsibilities include supervising and directing the team, knowledge of all team duties, training new team members, providing supplies and equipment for the team so they don't have to run all over looking for supplies and equipment. They secure the building, and they fill in for team members when they are off. All right. So the light duty specialist will dump all trash in classrooms and the hallway. They'll clean the touch points, the doors, the touch points on the doors, and they'll spot clean window doors. They'll empty pencil sharpeners, and they'll clean the chalk trays. And then they dust on a rotating basis, which, we'll talk about here in a minute. They also secure the windows, and they change the can liners on a rotating basis. So light duty specialist, really, they put on their headphones and off they go. And they do the trash in the entire building. And trust me, they can do it in less than 4 hours. We've had it done before. So it is one, how did I put that? It's one process that's taken care of. Think about summertime. Think about in summertime how we go through, we wash the furniture, put it out in the hall, and then the next crew comes along and does the next process. So kind of think of it that way. So the rotating schedule for the light duty, you're going to break up your building into zones. Okay, 4 different zones: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Because Friday, well, hey, we all need a break, seriously. And who wants to work extra on Friday? But there's another reason, and that is, why would you dust on a Friday when you've got Saturday and Sunday that dust is just going to resettle? So we dust Monday through Thursday. Detail night for this light duty specialist includes changing the liners in the cans in their area. Now, that doesn't mean you just do it once a week. What happens if there is somebody spit or threw up in a can, or there's a soft drink that's been spilled in the can? The can liner is yucky. You would change it when it needed to be changed. However, if that doesn't happen and the can just is pretty good all week long, you still want to change it out once a week. And that's what this rotating schedule is for. Zone 1 could be a first floor, Zone 2 a second floor, Zone 3 a third floor. Zone 4 could be either a fourth floor or another area of the building, but kind of understand how this goes. Okay. The short night is usually for the part-time team members, because in the old days they used to work only 3.5 hours a day on Friday, but really, again, it's Friday, and in high schools you've got game nights quite often you got to clean up after, and a lot of other activities. So we really want to just hit this rotating schedule Monday for Thursday as often as we can. Right, a stair specialist is going to sweep all of the assigned stairs in their area, which means, well, usually a lot of stairs. You're in high school easily looking at a four-hour job just to sweep and mop the stairs that they're assigned to. They're going to spot clean the walls and the staircases. And on a rotating basis, they're going to scrub and deep clean the staircase. And they're also going to do things like wipe the handrails off. Don't have to do that every night, but you can do that on a rotating basis. All right, the stair specialist, and here we go. Same thing. We break it up into 4 zones. The floor specialist, not the hall specialist, the floor specialist, is somebody who would dust mop the tile classrooms. You kind of straighten the furniture as you go. You don't straighten every piece of furniture. Come on, you straighten it as you go. Kind of easy. And you use a notepad to take a note of any spills or burned out lights, because the utility specialist is going to need to know which one of those 30 rooms on that floor has spills that they're going to need to take care of. A vacuum specialist, well, this is pretty self-explanatory. You grab a vacuum and they vacuum all the assigned areas. And of course they straighten the furniture as needed, and they use a notepad to take notes of any items for the utility specialist, like burned out lights. So now the utility specialist. This was always the kind of tough one to fill, but it can be done. The utility specialist comes along and they spot mop all classrooms that are needing it, because they've got this list from the other folks. They change the burned out lights in the classrooms. They clean sinks and replace paper towels on a rotating schedule. And they remove any graffiti in the hallway and the stairway. Why the stairway? Well, because the stair specialist says, hey, I got graffiti in my stairway, but they're not carrying around a can of graffiti remover. They're carrying around a broom or a mop to take care of their stairs. So that's why the utility specialist is the person who takes care of the graffiti. Now, a utility specialist in a high school will usually do this job towards the end of the night. This is the last 2 or 3 hours of the evening that they go around, because now all of these lists are complete of where they need to spot mop, where they need to change burned out lights, where they need to clean sinks, where they need to replace paper towels, all of these kind of things. Okay? So, let's see here. Their rotating schedule is a little bit different. Why? Well, because again, the way they do their job towards the end of the night, we're talking about a 2-3 hour window of time that they do. So Monday night, zone 1, Tuesday 2, Wednesday 3, Thursday 4, and then on Friday they would do things like the office, the faculty room, music room. Detail night for the utility specialist means you're checking all the rooms in a specific area for burned out lights, spills, paper towels, soap, and any sinks that need cleaning. So what's the difference between a regular night and detail night for the utility specialist? Glad you asked. A regular night means they have a list of the rooms that they need to go to and take care of that day, that's given to them by the other specialists. But what detail night is they'll take, say, zone 1 is the first floor, zone 2 is the second floor, zone 3 is the third, zone 4 is maybe your art rooms or shop hall. Okay, and then Friday is office, faculty, music areas. So what this means is they will, even though they don't have anything on that list for that particular area, let's say on Monday for zone 1, there's no classrooms that are on the list to be spot mopped. But what they will do is Monday, okay, it's my detail night and I'm going to go through that entire area and look for these things. Okay, got it? Got it. Hallway specialist. This is the person who is sweeping hallways. Then they mop, auto scrub hallways that need to be mopped and auto scrubbed. They buff the hallways on a rotating basis, because I don't know that they're going to get everything buffed every night, but depending on how often they auto scrub, some hallways don't need to be auto scrubbed every night. Now, a first floor in a high school, yeah, probably does, but well, not all hallways need to be mopped auto scrubbed every night. They need at least be spot mopped, and you will know where your spots are when you sweep your hallway. That's why you have this hallway specialist. That person is sweeping the hall and they know what the hall looks like. They know what to do for the night. If you have one person sweeping the hall and then somebody else coming along later with a mop, I mean, seriously, they don't know exactly where everything is for that night that's been spilled. So, yeah, hallway specialist is very important, and this is always a full-time person because, well, There's easily 8 hours worth of work in a high school when it comes to a hallway specialist job. It's also important that they drain the auto scrubber when they're finished. Don't leave water in it for the next day. Hallway specialist is also the person who is in charge of dusting off the burnisher after every use. They are the one who is to check the oil every day. Every single day. They're to log on the burnisher log, and they are also responsible for replacing propane when it's needed and for washing the filter every day. Now that doesn't mean that other people can't use the burnisher or other people can't use the auto scrubber. What it does mean is this designated person is the person who is supposed to be checking and logging this every single day. So if I go down and I find dirty filters on a buffer and I say, who isn't cleaning this? Well, Joe used it last, and Paul used it before him, and Steve used it before him, and nobody bothered to clean it. If you have a hallway specialist, you can say, well, these other guys used it, but the buck stops with the hallway specialist. The hallway specialist is the one responsible for doing all of these actions right here. Aha! Accountability. Now, the restroom specialist, they sweep the restrooms. Because, we're supposed to sweep them before we, like mop them and do all those other things. Yeah, so they sweep the restrooms. They remove graffiti, because there's always graffiti in a high school restroom. They stock the toilet paper and the soap. They disinfect and clean the fixtures. That's the toilet bowl and the sink, in case you were wondering. And what else do they do? Let's see, what else do they do? Oh, then they actually have to clean the bathroom, huh? So if they have one of those touch-free cleaning machines, great. They can use that every night. That's awesome. But if they don't, the old school way is mop the floor with disinfectant, clean the mirror. And we recommend you use a squeegee to clean the mirror, not a flippin' sponge or not a towel. It just makes it nasty. You wipe the walls down. Make sure that those, areas, those what we call them the splash areas, get wiped. And then they clean all the drinking areas in the main building. Because why? Those are usually close to a restroom. That's why. Detail the restrooms on a rotating basis. What is detailing a restroom? Glad you ask. So detail night for the restroom specialist includes dusting the wall ledges, dusting the vents, because remember, we're only needing to dust once a week. Dusting partitions, and using acid in the fixtures, which is really, we only need to put acid in once a week. So on Monday, you'd do zone 1. Let's say zone 1 again is the first floor. Zone 2 would be a second floor, let's say. Zone 3, 4. And then, of course, Friday, hey, I don't have to do that. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Cafeteria Specialist. Now, in a high school, usually this is, this is a individual person or a group of people. Sometimes the head custodian helps out. But anyway, Cafeteria Specialist, all the cleaning operations in that cafeteria is what they're responsible for. Emptying the trash and changing the bags. Picking up and putting down the tables. Sweep, mop, and auto scrub the floors. Polish floors on a rotating basis. Doesn't mean you have to do every square inch of it every night, but you do have to, do sections of it every night, every afternoon. Spot clean the windows and spot clean the walls in the area. Now, I always had a specialist designated just for the cafeteria. Now, they did other jobs as well, but this was the person who really was in charge of the cafeteria, and myself and some of the other day custodians, when I was in a high school, we would help with these these operations, but the cafeteria specialist was the one that would direct us on how to get this properly done. He was the one. It was in my building, it was a 6-hour custodian actually that I answered to, and he would say, hey, we've done this area over here, now I need you to go over here and start taking care of this area. So again, this is all part of being a team. Your gym specialist is a specially trained person who is trained in all aspects of things that are pertaining to the gym, like operating of the automatic bleachers. Okay, like a hallway specialist or restroom specialist doesn't need to know that, but your gym specialist, they need to know how to get those baskets up and down. They need to know how to get the automatic bleachers in and out. They need to know any special chemicals used to clean the gym floor, because there are some that we use on the gym floor that we don't use in other areas. Operation of propane burnishing and special pads for burnishing the gym floor. Knowledge and use of disinfectants and acids used in the showers and the locker rooms. Changing these high output lights in the gym, they need to know how to do that. They are also responsible for sweeping, mopping, and buffing of hallways in the gym area, and sweeping and mopping of stairways in the gym area. The operation of the automatic wall partitions. So the gym specialist has got to be a pretty, man. They got a lot of know a lot of stuff that's kind of specialized for their area. All right, folks. Well, I think that's it for today. Thanks for joining us on this. Check out the one for elementary and for junior high, and some of our other videos. And well, have a good time.